So, yesterday we're finally almost caught up. Yesterday was Earth Day. It was also something else. I really haven't heard any feedback about it, which might be a bad thing, but the March for Science was yesterday also, which makes sense that they would have it on Earth Day. So I was reminiscing about how it used to be called Arbor Day. And also tangentially thinking about why do we need to dedicate a single day for Earth Day when should be every day. Don't worry, I'll move my hand soon. Until then, I hope it's not too muddled. I decided to go to the one closest to me. I don't know if it was closest. Whatever. The one in DC. So it was kind of a last minute thing. Not that I hadn't been planning on going since they announced it back in January or February, but I hadn't really committed to going or made any notion that I was going to go. I'd planned to get up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, leave by 8, and get there by the time it started at 10. Or was it 9? Either way, that didn't happen. The car I was using kind of died. And by that I mean it wouldn't start. Spent a long time trying to figure out what was wrong with it. Tried restarting the battery, and it just wouldn't hold the charge. I mean, not a long time, but a goodly amount. I didn't end up leaving until almost 10:30, because at that point, I was just like, you know what, I'm already late. I may as well make some posters, which I wasn't going to do. I had slogans and everything ready, but I hadn't actually printed or made them. That only took me about half an hour to do. I made 4 of them. I walked around like a billboard, one of those guys who stands out in front of a business going, "Hey, look at the sign, it has all the deals," and says, "Come to our business." I do not know if you can see them. No. Well, they say, "Together we are greater than the sum of our parts," and the greater than is, the words are shaped like the greater than sign. whichever way that would be for you. I don't know. Invest in your future, and then it has a picture of the globe, and around the circumference are a bunch of people holding hands, and one of them says inclusion is greater than symbol fusion, and it's not meant literally, it's meant symbolically, because one of the issues with the March for Science is that it was very heavily insinuated that it wasn't meant to be political, which is impossible to do, especially because of the reason why they were having it in the first place, and also because there's a whole giant chunk of the conversation that's left out because they refuse to acknowledge that there are opportunities that aren't available to everyone. And that part of the conversation is called marginalized science. There are better, more eloquent people that can inform on this issue, though. And the last one, the last poster, the one that I kind of liked the best and got the most compliments on was, "I am woman, hear me science." And that's actually based off a commercial from a long time ago called "I am man, hear me." That there was a song where they kept singing over and over again, "I am man, hear me roar," in numbers too big to ignore. I think it was a Burger King ad. So it's a spoof on that. But on the poster, I wrote "I am" in as if it'd been stitched, and then I typed out "woman," and then wrote "here," "hear me," and then printed out "science" and kind of smudged the lettering, because one of the marginalized groups in this instance in particular is women. One of the marginalized groups in science in particular at this point is women. So the stitch marks are meant to be like you're sewing their mouth shut. And on the outside is also stitch marks. And the reason why I went to the pharmacy 24-hour Mart was to pick up eyeliner, because I don't use eyeliner, so I could do this. It was better on Saturday. It's just a quick example. It's a lot more sanitary and motion. I don't know. It's a lot more easy to deal with than a slab of duct tape over your mouth and gets across the same concept. I don't know, I thought it was cool. Super easy to take out too. It doesn't involve giving your face a good waxing. There were a lot of cool posters, but there were a ton of people. Even though it was raining, it drizzled, and it was gray and miserable the entire time. But the energy of the crowd really made up for that. It was good. Took a lot of videos of people chanting and stuff, statements people were making, sizes of the crowds. And then afterwards, sorry, I'm looking at pictures that you can't view, because if I hold them up like this, the light just blurs them out. Maybe. There was this one guy who had super awesome energy, and he had a band of drums and tambourines and stuff. It was all really cool. Got some good shots of ankles and stuff. Unfortunately, lots of people means lots of refuse, trash, even by accident. But people were just leaving their signs crumpled up on the ground. Even though they were just paper, it still looks terrible. And there's no excuse for that ever. But for you to do it as someone who's making a scene, you draw negative attention to the group that you're representing. And they did on Earth Day, which is about respecting the planet. It was just kind of very disappointing. I picked up as much as I could. There were really only a couple other people doing the same. I took pictures of a really blatant piece of trash and just stood there and watched it for a good 5 minutes, walked away, came back, and finally someone stopped and picked it up. It was fun. It was definitely an experience. It is kind of worrisome that I haven't heard anything about it, any sort of response. Good nor bad. I mean, even negative attention, negative media is still good. Even negative exposure is good exposure. but I haven't heard anything. And they were talking for a week about the Women's March afterwards. I did see something about the Chicago one, but it was only because I was looking for it. Anyway, afterwards, I didn't, because I was late, I didn't get there until almost 2, because not only did my car not start until 10:30, and didn't have enough battery power to keep going, but one of the, like, a good third of the rail system I needed to take was down, so I had to take a slow bus down the route that it was supposed to go from point A to wherever it started again. So I didn't get there until almost 2, which was when the march started, and then there was no one around, so no one directing where to go. It was kind of a little unorganized, but not in a spontaneous good way, just no communication, at least of the verbal sort. I had to physically find who was running it, find their website, and go to, like, another page, not the home page, to find the directions of where they were. And I got off the subway, dumped in the middle of the mall, and no idea where anything was. No sense of direction, whatever. Never really been outside the Washington, D.C. Smithsonian Mall area. I did manage to catch it, but like halfway through, at around 2:30, we walked screaming down the street. Not screaming, but, chanting and doing the call response, back and forth, and then every once in a while a yell would sweep through from one end to the other, like we were doing the wave sound. That was cool. And seeing all the people, just not only the marchers, but the spectators. Surprisingly, there wasn't a lot of media coverage. I wonder why that was. I know there was a lot of controversy surrounding the organizers of the protest because of, not protest, march. It wasn't a protest, it was a march. Surrounding the organizers of it because of their failure to recognize the shortcomings of how they were defining the issue. I'm terrible at speaking, so I actually formulated a response in my head of things that I would say if someone asked me why I was there, where I was from, what I was doing, what I hoped to accomplish. But there really wasn't anyone doing anything. There were comparatively a sparse. Like, I saw a dozen tops photographers documenting. I didn't see one news van. Now, I didn't start, and I wasn't there for the opening ceremonies or the speeches at the beginning. And I missed at least a third of the march from where I started. But even towards the end, once everybody had made it to Union Square, the only sort of outside spectator influence were the city police. And they were just making sure that we didn't go up to the Capitol building. We didn't go up to the Capitol building with our signs on so that people that were there touristing didn't have to be exposed to something they didn't want to be. And that's understandable. And we didn't go into any areas that no one's supposed to, like, don't walk on the grass, or letting the occasional vehicle pass through. I didn't really. On one hand, I get, but on the other hand, it's like someone crossing the picket line. You don't do that. I really was not prepared. I spent $10 on a poncho just so I could keep my signs dry, and it was worth it. Not worth it, but having it was appreciated. I'm glad that I had it. And it was clear, so you could still see the signs, sort of. Yeah. Afterwards, I walked around the mall. By the time all the energy had died down and people had started cleaning up, it was almost 5, and after I helped clean up a little bit, I just decided to leave because it was getting late and I was wet and cold and my feet hurt. And I had a long way to go. I did manage to find my sister there. I wasn't looking for her. I stumbled upon her. She actually ran into me because I had signs on the front and signs on the back, and she ran into my back, the one with the I am woman one, and she just kind of ignored me. I mean, and her older sister, and she was with her friends, so it's sort of understandable, but it's still really rude. At that point, I even had taken the stuff off my lips, so it wasn't that she didn't want to be seen with me in public. I think she just didn't want to be seen with me in front of her friends. I don't know why. She's weird. Like, honestly, truly, she's weird. But she's my sister. walked around the mall. There are a whole lot of art museums that I passed, and while I appreciate art, I would have rather gone to the Natural History Museum, but by the time I got there, it was closed, unfortunately, so I just walked down to the World War II Memorial and then walked back. Got a falafel. That was interesting. It was okay. I mean, the not hummus, chickpea spice ball was really good. So was the rice. The lettuce was good by itself. But I don't know. I'm really into sauces. Could have used more sauce. Yes. Oh, oops. Yeah. So that was that day. Afterwards, I got back on the metro. Didn't miss my connecting stop. Traveled all the way to the end of the line. And then had to go all the way back. Got on the bus that I needed to get back to the parking lot where I left the car. And that was an adventure. That took a while. The trains kept stopping and kicking everyone off because it was so late and they weren't filled to the capacity that they wanted, that they felt like was worth running. So they kept kicking everybody off the train. That happened a few times. Finally got to the end of the line, and they're still near the end of the line where I first got on the bus. Got on the metro, and they still hadn't fixed the last two lines. Took the bus back. That took a long time. Driving at night in the rain. By that time it was 8 o'clock. DC traffic. Yeah, I walked around a good while after it ended, between 5:30 and 8, 5:30 and 7:30. Got back to the car around 9. Drove. It was something about the return trip that it always seems easier, except for last Saturday, that 6 a.m. drive, 2-hour 6 a.m. drive. That was a killer. That was definitely not shorter. But going back this way was a lot shorter. Going back this time, last night, like usual, it seemed shorter. It seemed to pass quicker. Maybe it probably helped that it was super cold, which made me awake, and I had coffee waiting for me in the car. And just a little bit of that for me goes a long way. Ouch. Sorry. Okay. Scab on my hand, and it super itches. pretty much it for yesterday. Can't believe it's already. I can't believe it's taken me so long. Can't believe this episode's going so long. Episode, day, video, length, whatever. I enjoyed it. I'd do it again, if only because me deciding not to go just because I don't think it would accomplish anything doesn't help anyone. At least me being there adds an extra body, at the very least, to the body count. Okay. Till next time. What time is it? Wow. 5 minutes.